Oh, this changes everything. This is why you should swatch your palettes out, by the way. Hey, welcome back. You made it to another video, or maybe this is your first video. In that case, welcome. I'm glad that you found my little space, my little corner here on the internet. My name is Amy, and I like to play with my makeup and talk about it on the internet. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll stick around. This year, I have been going through and swatching out all of my palettes and using all of my palettes, reconnecting with each one. I'm calling it my year of awareness. I tried to do a know by year, and it didn't go very well. And I sat back and said, why didn't it go well? And I realized it didn't go well because I didn't meet myself where I already was at, because I didn't have any clue where I was at in my journey with cosmetics, with makeup, with the artistry of makeup itself. This year has been about connecting with my collection and becoming aware of how I interact with it and how I want to interact with it. Part of that is going through and swatching out all my palettes, because there are palettes, in fact, a couple of palettes today's video that I have never swatched at all. More about that when we get to them, but they've all been used. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna swatch through it, and yeah, grab a drink, grab a snack. These are my indie mainstream brands. They're my palettes that are independently owned brands that you can find in mainstream stores and are more accessible on the market to most people. This is all of them, and we're gonna go through them by brand. We're going to start with, what should we start with? What's the sparkliest? I wanna do that last, I think. So I think I'm gonna save my Huda Beauties for the end. So I have 3 of those. And then I have 2 NatashaDenona palettes, and then 3 Melt makeup palettes. I think I'm going to do the NatashaDenona, then I'll do the Melt, and then we'll do the Huda Beauty. I'll put timestamps below also if you just want to scroll through. FYI, this will be a chatty video. My channel is kind of a, well, I shouldn't say kind of. My channel is a channel that's a hangout channel. We're just chilling, hanging out, connecting. Makeup's my hobby. And if it's your hobby and you like it as well, maybe your hobby is just watching makeup videos, that's cool too. Or maybe you just want someone to keep you company while you're working. Maybe you work from home or all by yourself and you don't have any coworkers and you just have it on in the background. Or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever you are. Say hi to me in the comments. Let me know. And I'm glad you're here. Let's get to swatching these palettes. Let's see. Should we do the Retro Glam or the Xenon palette first? I think let's do the Retro Glam first. Yeah, let's do the Retro Glam first. And I got these palettes last year on Black Friday, which just ended. How did you guys do? I did really well. I don't have any money right now, so it was a lot easier than I anticipated this year. But it was also kind of hard because they had some really good sales and it was sad, but it was easy because it was a no. It was an easy no. Anyways, I hope you guys did well, and if you did shop, I hope you got the deals that you wanted and that you were excited about. Anyways, I got these last year on Black Friday, and usually NatashaDenona does sets on her Black Friday sale. I don't know if that's something she does all the time, but on the Black Friday sales, I've noticed that they'll put together 2 palettes and sell them for way cheaper than you can even get the individual palettes on sale that day. And this happened to be the pack that one of the packs that they had last year. And I had been wanting both of these palettes, and I had never tried the formula. And yeah, so that's why I picked these up. I really kind of wish I had the minis of both of these. This one's still available, but I just can't spend $27 on a mini. That seems absolutely ridiculous. And I thought that the minis would be magnetic as well, but from what I can tell, the minis aren't magnetic. The minis in the bigger ones are still magnetic, but the ones from these palettes that coordinate with this size aren't, which is stupid because I'll tell you right now, this is missing some colors from that mini that I wish were in this palette. I can reach into other palettes, but again, you know how I am. I really do just want to be able to pull a palette and make it look. Same with this. There's colors in the mini, which came out, Is that what she always does? I'm sorry, I'm not a NatashaDenona stan or anything. I don't know a lot of information about her makeup other than that's really popular. Anyways, from what I can tell, the mini of this one was gorgeous and everyone loved it. And then this came out, I think people were disappointed. But there are colors in that I wish I had to go with this as well. Overall, I do like both color stories. I don't understand why you would have these big magnetic and not have the smaller version of this one be magnetic as well. It is just strange to me. And anyways, I don't know that I love that idea. I do think the packaging is really beautiful. I personally prefer cardboard packaging just because it's more sustainable as far as the breakdown of it. I mean, sustainability has a lot more layers than just how it decomposes. But, yeah, for an eyeshadow palette, I feel like I prefer a cardboard packaging, a nice cardboard packaging. I think most of these are, what is this, acrylic or some sort of plastic packaging. ABS plastic maybe. It's good quality though. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break, either of these or the melt ones. I digress. Anyways, packaging's decent. Mine don't squeak because that would drive me crazy. I hear so many people squeak. These palettes I haven't swatched. That's what I was trying to get at when I was telling you I bought these for Black Friday. I bought them and then I decided I was gonna do my year of awareness and I knew I was gonna swatch everything out. Did I expect it to take me till December to get to these? No, but I was like, I want to swatch them for the first time on a video. So here we are swatching them for the first time. I have used them, but I've never fully swatched them out. And we know swatches aren't everything, so you don't have to in order to use a palette, but it does help to see the color story. And also I like to put my fingers in like shiny, pretty things and I don't know, it's a little art time, a little art therapy. Should we do it in order? Or I'm thinking I might do the mattes first and then the shimmers because I feel like that makes more sense for me as far as keeping my fingers clean. So that's what we're gonna do. So the first matte is Sage. It's a pretty thin formula, which I like. Actually, I prefer to build than to have too much product pickup and lay down at first. And I'm not saying I don't want it to be pigmented, but the texture itself, I want to be thin. I like that about this. And then we have Holly. So far, these just feel like powder mattes. I know there's a mixture of formulas in here, so we'll see if I'll be able to tell the difference. Holly. And I'll give you a better view at the end here of everything as well, like I always do. And then there's Fringe. Another powder matte. And then Faye, which I really like Faye. I feel like Faye might be a creamed powder. I might be wrong. It might just be a really creamy powder. But it feels creamier than the other mattes. Could just have to do with the pigment type, you know. Even within a brand, the mattes will feel different just because of what compound they need for the color. Next, we have Lucy, which also might be a cream to matte. And then Belle. We'll start in with the shimmers. I'm going to call them all shimmers. I'm sure some of them are satins. By looking at them, I can tell that a couple of them are probably satins, but anything that has some sort of shimmer or sparkle particle in it. This first one is Flare. Ooh, that's pretty. And then we have Jazzy. I love this color. This definitely feels creamy, like some sort of cream formula. Okay, next one is Oscar. And again, I think these are creams. That's Oscar. I might just not know NatashaDenona's formula. This is Evergreen. Oh wait, this is definitely a cream. Oh wait. That one's a cream. Evergreen. Yeah. Oh, is that a cream matte? That's a cream matte. You know what? I didn't know that was a matte. I thought that was a sparkle this whole time. And I was like, this does not have enough dark in it for building depth. Sorry, I'm totally off camera here. Oh, this changes everything. This is why you should swatch your palettes out, by the way. I don't know why I was like, I'm gonna wait and do it on the camera. I'm normally a person that waits around for things. I'm not a patient person. It's not one of my things I'm good at. Okay. Well, I just learned me a lesson here. Our next one is Marlin. Ooh, that's pretty. And then Maxi. Flutter. Flutter's really pretty. I used Flutter all over my eye. It's kind of a topper. And then Palisades is also really pretty. The Paladin, sorry, Paladin. I said Palisade. Paladin. Ooh. Such a pretty inner corner moment with that bright mint green, almost white. Ooh, so pretty. And then the last one is Oz. Ooh. So fitting. This is like a perfect Wicked palette. How did I not figure that out? It's literally pink and green. My sister had bought tickets for my whole family to go see Wicked with them. And we were sick and we didn't get to go. I'm so sad. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I've seen the play. We'll go see it. We're all on the mend at this point, but still, I don't know if you can hear my voice, the congestion. I'm sure you can. And the sniffles. Working on the assumption that this was the deepest matte, I was really struggling to deepen up the look. I mean, I have my e.l.f. matte palette that I just went into and grabbed a deep brown and it was fine, it worked out. But knowing that this is a deep cream to matte changes everything. I'm so excited to do a look with this here in the next week. This last color, this Oz, is so pretty. It kind of feathers out like this golden bronzy color at the edges as you blend it. I love when shadows do that. Sometimes it can be annoying because they can feather to a color you're not expecting it to be, which is, again, why it's good to swatch your palettes out. I'm glad I have this palette in my collection. I need to use it more. I need to connect with it more, but I mean, I have used it. I do like this palette quite a bit. And then let's move on. I might swatch on my right arm and swatch with my left hand and see if that goes better, because I'm having to twist my left arm really weird here at an angle the way I have my phone set up. So give me a minute. I'm going to kind of reposition everything and then we'll come back and I'll swatch out the Xenon palette and we'll talk about it as we swatch. All right, I think I'm good now. This is the palette that actually first piqued my interest a little bit, because I, before that, really had not had NatashaDenona on my radar that much at all. Like, I watch beauty YouTube. She's everywhere. But, like, as far as interest. But when this came out, I was so excited to see the grayscale. I love this so much. I used to love watching black and white movies and black and white TV shows growing up. I mean, I'm not as old as that may make me sound. I just grew up, my parents watched a lot of black and white shows, like Bewitched and things like that. I really liked black and white TV. I always loved to try to guess the colors. I would sit there and I'd try to guess what color their dress was or what color their eyes were. Because it always had this kind of grayscale just like this with the Xenon, where some people can see the blues and the pinks, but other people are like, I just see gray. I could always see, I swear I could see colors when I was looking at the TV when I was watching black and white. It was one of my favorite things to do when I was little. And I don't think I've ever really told anyone that, other than my sister and my other sibling, because we talked about it when we were younger. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and swatch this out. Let's do the same as we did before. Let's start with the mattes, and then we'll move on to the shimmers. I think that worked pretty good. Okay, so let's start with Blizzard, which is this just beautiful gray stone color. I love that so much. Then we have Spoosh. I think this is one of those cream to mattes. Yes, in the black, which also, by the way, changes everything. These almost look shimmery when you look at them in the pan. That's so cool. Okay, well that makes me happy, because having a matte black, I was like, why does this not have a matte black? And then I saw the mini one had the matte black, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense that it's already in the mini. But then I was gonna buy it and then found out that they're not magnetic and I can't switch them around. This makes me happier. I have some amazing matte blacks, by the way, in my collection, so I don't need to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I haven't bought it. I'm just expressing like what went through my mind, and you know how we have that desire, that all of a sudden we have a need for something we don't actually need. So I just thought I'd share that with you in case you had similar experience. So that was Spoosh, Sposh, I think Spoosh. Okay, Contrail. I never actually paid attention to the names on here, which is this beautiful bright white. Almost has a pink tone to it. It might have a little pink, actually, especially when I'm looking on it here next to Blizzard, which is this stone gray. Can you see it? Can you see the blue and the pink? In the palette, it doesn't look like it, but it's there. Swatching it out is making me excited. Then Snert. Snert. What a funny name. Snert. And then we have Flurry, which is kind of this beige. Rhyme. I'm assuming these are star names. I wish I was cool and I knew more names for space and stuff, because I love space, but that's just not something that's ever really stuck for me. Rhyme. Okay. Oh, that is terrible swatching. Good idea to swatch with your left hand. And then we have Cygnus. Ooh, that's creamy. Look at that silver in that. Ooh, looks like stars in the sky. We love that. Stellar. Stellar is more chunky glitter. I can feel the grit of it. I mean, it's soft grit, but I can feel the texture. But it's a pretty topper. Look at that. Ooh, she sparkles. Like a disco ball. And then we have Gru, which is this beautiful, like, almost hematite, you know, like when hematite is black, but then it kind of turns and you get that kind of gray color from it. That's what this reminds me of. Ooh, it's pretty. The next color I'm going to swatch is Ebb, which has this beautiful blue sparkle all throughout it. I can see it's so pretty. And then Super Ionic. Almost said super ironic. Ooh, sparkly, sparkly. And then this is one of the colors I've used the most since I bought the palette, and that's Snow Bow, which is this pink blue duochrome, beautiful color. Ooh, very squishy, very squishy. I'm also pushing pretty hard. And then Night Sky. just a more of a deep true black. That is freaking gorgeous. It looks like it has maybe some hollow in it. Yeah, it's got hollow in it. That's pretty. And then there's Nev. I'm assuming it's Nev, Neve. Also very pretty. I think that is also a hollow. It is. It's a silver with a hollow throughout. Pretty. That's more of a topper too. And then the last one is Skift. Ooh, that's very creamy. Such a pretty color. And that is the NatashaDenona Xenon palette. Very pretty. Like I said, I can see the different colors. This is blue. This is more pink. This has, if anything, I would say it has a little bit of olive to it. And then you've got obviously a really warm color here in this last one. And a pink, a navy, and then you've got these hollows that have all the multi-reflect. So there really is quite a variety of grayscale in here. I love it, honestly. Those are my two NatashaDenona palettes, and probably the only two I will ever own, because honestly, the formula don't come for me. I know there's people that really love their NatashaDenona, and that's fine. I don't think it's a bad formula. Like I said, I like that it's a thin formula, a buildable formula. It lasts on the eye. It does all the things you want it to do. It is a good formula. It's not spectacular, and the cost, for the cost, I just struggle. But it is sold in mainstream stores, which is going to bring the price up always, because you're adding in additional money for marketing and placement and all the things. I think it's a decent formula. Not decent. It's a good formula. It's a dependable, great formula. It's just not spectacular. And for what do these normally cost? I think I got both of these for $80, right? So these were like $40 a piece, but I think these are normally like almost $90 a piece. Right? Like 80 something, I want to say. Never in my life would I spend that much on one eyeshadow palette. That is a lot of money. Do I think it was worth the money that I spent on them? No. Am I glad that I bought them just to have said I tried the formula? Do I love the color stories? Will I get use out of the color stories? Absolutely. So I didn't like waste my money. I just could have bought something different with my money. But I'm not upset to have them either. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, these are going to stay in my collection for sure. Let's talk Melt Cosmetics. I have both Smoke Sessions palettes and the Melt Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein palette. There are other palettes from Melt that I wish I had purchased, but I kind of came in late to the game to purchasing Melt. I knew about them as a company, but at the time I was purchasing Uber Clean Beauty, which is ridiculous because Melt is a great company as far as sustainability. Anyways, Melt's a great company. So the fact that I wasn't purchasing from them was ridiculous. But, you know, we learn, we grow, we move on, and we do better, right? And when I was first getting back into using mainstream beauty, because I had known about Melt, this is one of the brands that I really wanted to try for a long time. And they had the Melt Smoke Sessions 2 coming out. And so this one was on super sale, and I got it for like, I think like $10 or $12. And then when this came out, I got some deal on it. I don't remember, but it wasn't as good of a deal. And then the Frankenstein I bought, well, you saw, I bought it earlier this summer. And I really want the new Edward Scissorhand collection. I would love to have that palette. But otherwise, as far as palettes that are currently available, there's not really anything else from Melt that I'm dying to have right now. The Bailey Sarian, the second one, the Fairly Yours, that's a cool looking collection, but I don't need it. I have other color stories similar, and also it's not a color story that I'm going to use all the time. I don't need to have multiple palettes with those colors. I like where they're going though. It looks like they stepped up their shimmer game even more in the new Edward Scissorhand collection, which is really exciting because I, like I said, really want to get a hold of that one. I like these smaller palettes. This is like the perfect size palette for me. Again, I don't love that it's plastic, but it has a really good quality mirror. The quality of the shadows in this one are really great. I don't know why this one wasn't more popular, honestly. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Melt to do more. I don't know why this one didn't seem to be talked about that much. I love this palette. Let's swatch it out, and then we'll talk about the other two. Do these have names? Oh, they do. Let me tell you what, though. Here. You see these? You can see the names if you want. I'm just gonna swatch it out because this is really about the colors and not necessarily about the names. And I have staining from the NatashaDenona palette, as you see. I'm gonna just go in order on this one. Oh, I love this color. And yes, for an indie brand, they don't have the most exciting shimmers. I don't think they're any less exciting than a NatashaDenona shimmer. I really enjoyed the shimmers in this palette. Really pretty. Anyways, this color right here, this green, are you kidding me? And this, every time I wear this color, I get a compliment. Every time. They're like, oh my God, I love that green on your eye. I have brown eyes, so I think it really makes my brown eyes pop as well, but this green is so pretty. And then this green matte. The color of this green couldn't be more perfect Frankenstein green. And maybe that's not your vibe. Maybe you don't want to look like Frankenstein. I do want to look like Frankenstein. So for me, perfection. Honestly, this is probably top 10 palette of all time up there. It's a good palette. I really like it. Like, look at that brown with the shimmer. The satin, oh, it looks so pretty on the eye too. It lays so well on the eye and it lasts so well. And it's so neutral. It's just such a beautifully neutral palette. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. I absolutely love this palette. That is the Melt Bride of Frankenstein palette. Give you an up close. At the time, this was one of the only green palettes that I was interested in, and that was really out in the market. That was like a fully green palette. I mean, this year everybody and their mother came out with a green palette, but that was the draw initially for this palette for me. My complaint with this palette is this is really two separate palettes. You have a cool palette and you have a warm palette. And while this is an all right color story, it's not my color story. And then you have this, which is this beautiful cool tone green story, which is my jam. The only mattes you have are two deep mattes to deepen up the crease, which I get. And then you do an all shimmer look and then you have a color to deepen up the crease. But there's not really a lot of mixing the two color stories together. I find that they contrast each other in a way that doesn't complement each other. Maybe it's just me not understanding how to use it. And I have like mixed, like if you go to these inside colors that right here and this one, I can use this one on this side and I can use this one on this side. But I struggle to use these two with these ones, and I struggle to use these two with any of these ones. I get a little frustrated when using the palette because it's very limiting, but it's still a really beautiful formula, and I actually really love these shimmers as one and done eyeshadows, particularly this light green one right here. Let's go ahead and swatch it out. Let's do the mattes first. We have Sour Diesel. This one actually has the names on the top. It's just this gross, mossy green. I say gross in the best way possible. It's so grungy and beautiful. And then you have this beautiful forest green on the other side. Then we have let's do this side first. We have Black Widow, which is just that exact color, but in a shimmer, pretty much. Dirty, grungy, goldy green. And then you have Granddaddy, getting even more gold, or bronze, I should say. This is very bronze. And then finally you have Gravity OG, which is just the most beautiful bright gold. Reminds me of Arabic gold or like Persian gold. On the other side, we have Mean Green. Sweet Tooth. And then we have Blue Dream. Like I said, this Blue Dream I love to sheer out all over the lid. So here, I'll sheer it out for you up here. But I just want you to see. Just like a light wash all over the lid of that seafoam green is so pretty. This is the Melt Smoke Session palette. And then we have Smoke Sessions 2. I do not like the packaging on this. I think it's bulky and clunky. The art is pretty itself. I just don't like the packaging, the way they glued this acrylic piece on top. It's just like glued onto this already. Thick, nice, decent cardboard packaging. So the cover is super thick and heavy. I'm just not a fan. It's me being nitpicky. Really, it's a beautiful palette. I love the packaging on the inside though. I wish they had just done that like all over the outside like they did with the green one. I actually like this more than the original, which is kind of crazy because I tend to like greens more than I like purples on my eyes these days. I used to love purple on my eyes when I was younger. But these colors are really fun. And I don't know, this came out later. Maybe the formula is better, but I feel like if I'm not mistaken that I have an already reformulated version of this. Is that correct? I might be wrong. But like I said, I bought it right as this was coming out. So it is a newer piece in my collection. It's not that old, physically old. I think I might like this one more because they did give me a light colored matte along with 2 deep colored purples. And while there are different tones of purple, they stick neutral enough to each other that it's really easy to use all of these colors together in a way that you just can't with the original palette, but also still has its limitations. Like this color right here is very, very blue. I have thought about mixing the 2 palettes and I haven't done that yet. I want to do a look mixing that, kind of using these murky greens and golds with the kind of murkier purples in this one. I think that would be a really pretty look. So I want to do that sometime soon. Maybe I'll film it. So let's start with Purple Skunk, which is the first matte here, the lightest matte. You can definitely tell the difference between the 2. Black Roses, even like I said, even though that one was probably produced around the same time. Oh, these are just more finely milled, I feel like. Purple Punch. Such a pretty purple. Those are our mattes. And then we have Martian Candy. I love this one. This has like a hollow all the way throughout it. It's so pretty on the eye. And then we have a Monster Cookie. Also really pretty. Give me like Lisa Frank purple. And then we have Purple Goo. And then we have Northern Lights, another beautiful one. The blue, the royal blue shimmer that reflects on this. Oh, so pretty. And then the final one is Blue Haze. And these electric purples are probably some of my favorite purples in my collection. I just love a bright electric purple like that. Do you see that blue reflect in this one right here? Can you see that on the camera? I can't tell on the viewfinder if you can see it or not. I hope you can. Anyways, that's the Smoke Session 2 palette. Really, really enjoyed this one. We'll be keeping this one, I'm sure, in my collection this year as well. But it's nice to connect with it and swatch it out again and be reminded how much I really do enjoy this one. And I really want to mix these. It would be fun to mix the cool, these bluer greens too with these bluer purples and make a look too. That would be really pretty. And like I said, these grungier ones with the more gold color. I feel a makeup playtime coming on. All right, y'all. That Smoke Sessions 2 is the last of my melt palettes. I am actually gonna go eat. I need to eat. And then I'll be back to do the Huda palettes after I eat my dinner. And I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I ate. I can think again. I am gonna swatch out these last 3 palettes. I've got the Icy Nude, Pretty Grunge, and the Creamy and Grayish Creamy Obsessions. Let's do the creamy one first. I really like the Huda formula. I just tried the formula in the last couple years, as is the case with most of these. This was the first one I picked up, I believe, or the creamy one. I can't remember. And then last year I picked up the Icy Nude when it came out. The Pretty Grunge, feel like I might have swatched it out when I first got it. I can't remember now. This one I've swatched out. This one I have never fully swatched out. Again, because I bought it last year. So same story as the NatashaDenona ones. I was like, oh, I'll save it. So I actually never swatched this one out. I can't remember if I've ever swatched this one out or not, but I know I've swatched out the creamy one multiple times. This is one of those situations where swatching truly doesn't matter. These swatch terribly, but they perform way better on the eyes than they swatch. So I'm going to swatch them out for you, but they do perform better on the eyes than they appear in their swatches. Okay. All right. So these are all creams except for this one down here that was for setting, all of them. Let's just go in order. Yes, there is like glitter that's gotten into other ones. It's a little messy. It's been loved. It's been used. It's a little messy, okay? We'll go in first with this lightest one. Oh my goodness, it's so soft. I need to use this again soon. I haven't used it in a while. And then this more latte taupey color. Everything has sparkle in it in this. Oh well. This is like an everyday palette to throw on when I want to do something fun, but I don't have a lot of time because it doesn't give me too many choices really. And it's also fun to work with because it's got that creamy putty texture and it just feels artsy. The one here in the middle. I'm going to skip over the matte for setting right now. When grayish was the word of the year a couple years back, they came out with this. I love a grayish. I love that they did this. I did really like it. Couldn't put it down for a while. It was like, Amy, you have to use some other palettes. You can't just use the Huda Creamy palette because it's easy and fun to play with. Look at that color. All right, and then the powder is really just like it's supposed to be a translucent powder. It's got a little bit of pink to the color, but it's really for setting. It's clear, see? It's not meant to build up. So I guess I could try to swatch it, but it's not going to swatch. It's a setting powder. You know? That is the Huda Grayish Creamy Obsessions. And again, this palette didn't do well with a lot of people, but I really, really like this palette. Moving on to Pretty Grunge here. sure you've seen this palette around. I love the color story. I love that it is warm and cool, but also very neutral at the same time. I really love this palette. The moment I saw this palette, I knew this palette was for me. I did get staining, and I don't have these on my arms very long, you guys. That is from the creamy palette I just used from Huda. I'm gonna do the mattes first. I liked doing that. Okay, so we have Liberty. Did you all just sing the song in your head too? It's just me. Liberty. I don't want to get in trouble for, you know, like copyright or something. But you know what I'm talking about. The commercial. Yeah. You wouldn't recognize it if you're not in the US. I love this color story. It's so pretty. Rise Up. Hope. Love, Anarchy. I love these names. Oh, that color is so pretty. It's all the mattes on the warmer side. Let's do the mattes on the cooler side. We have Beauty Chaos. Fearless. And I also appreciate that she has so many different textures. Nirvana. Again, I have not tried that many. Freedom. You see what I have here of these. This is all I've ever tried of these brands. And then we have Renegade, which is a beautiful black. Moving on to our shimmers and our one waxy shade called Grunge, which I am obsessed with, by the way. I need to do more looks with this. This is so editorial and oh, I love it. It feels tenacious. It has that high shine of eye gloss, but when it goes on, it has a tenacity to it. And you can still keep that shine even when you blend it out. You still get that high shine. And then we have Haphazard. And Rebel. It's pretty chunky. Pretty. Look at that. And then Maverick. It's getting all over. What have I done? I made a mess. Oh well, it's all right. It's all right. We're towards the end anyways. Thankfully, I make the mess at the end. Or the serious mess at the end. Look at these shimmers though. Look at that. Like liquid metal. Strong AF and Avant-Garde. Avant-Garde, which also has like a creamy, tenacious formula, almost like the Grunge. You just don't see it because it's not glossy. It feels very much like the Grunge. Oh, look how pretty that is too. And then Stand Up. I think that's our last one. Oh, I love this palette. Love, love, love. I would have died to have had a palette like this as a teenager. Oh my goodness. Adult Amy is living it up for teenage Amy, for sure, with this palette. I love this thing. Huda Pretty Grunge. All right, we've reached the point of no coming back with the glitter, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm doing these swatches really for me and just inviting you in anyways. There's plenty of really great swatch videos out there in the world. I try to do my swatches decent. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like these are mostly just for me to get an idea of what's in my palette and inspire myself to use my palette again. I apologize if the swatches sometimes aren't exactly the way you might prefer them, is what I'm trying to say. We're having fun. We're getting in here. We're playing with our makeup. And again, this one with the sparkle getting everywhere. Maybe that is why I should leave the little plastic things on top of them. This is Huda Beauty Icy Nude. Obsessed. I know, such an influencer. I'm obsessed. I've been saying that word way before influencing was a thing. So just FYI, I'm so much cooler. I was doing it before. Oh, disgusting, right? I know. Okay, let's go, Amy. First, we're going to start with First Class. And I do see a lot of crossover in the mattes between this palette and the Pretty Grunge palette, but I'm not mad about it. I love these colors. Cold Plunge. If you watched any of my collection video from last year, you know that I love a peachy apricot-y color and a mauve-y greigey color. It's very common in my makeup collection, so even though they're very similar in the mattes between the two, I have different inspiration points when I pull out the palettes. Lavish and She's Rich. She is rich. Look at that. And then we have Faux Fur. Unapologetic. Such a pretty berry. Poised. And then High Life. It's like a pinkier version of that color. Very similar. I like having both. Oneself. This is such a good blending color for me. Ooh, it's so pretty. And then we have Avalanche, which is a pure white. Such a pretty white. And because the formula builds, you can get this up to pretty white, which is hard on me because my skin is so fair. I like that a lot. And then we have IDGAF. I don't give a fuck. This is such a pretty color. It's like a millennial pink. Snow bunny vibes, and I'm here for it. These are perfect. This white and this pink are perfect in our corner colors. I'm making a mess. Come on, Amy. Wasting product. Okay, listen, I have some, I'm never going to go through my palettes. It's not waste. That's on the mattes. So let's do the shimmers. We've got Gold Standards. And then we have Diamond Dew, which is the glitter. No, it's not. Bling's the glitter. Okay. I was like, as soon as I touched that, I was like, that's not glitter. That is squishy. That's the bling one. Wow. Holy moly. I feel like I'm in art class playing with the glitters. This is VVS. I feel like I should know what that means, but I don't. So you let me know if you know what VVS means. I'll probably Google it later. Oh, that one has the prettiest hollow in it. And then Platinum. Oh, you can see my son's highlight book. That's funny. Actually, it used to be my son's. I took it because he didn't want it, and I'm going to do it. It's going to be my adult coloring book. You see my bills, too, hanging all over here. Don't look at that pile. That's a mess. Okay, last few. That was Platinum. Then we'll go into Aurora. Iced Out. Iced Out is so beautiful. One of my favorite colors in my whole collection, honestly. Oh, so pretty. And then we have Bling, which is a glitter. And it's a biodegradable glitter, which I think is really cool because we don't like the plastic glitters, you know? But it is a glitter nonetheless. It's all right. People said they had a hard time swatching it, so let's see how it plays out, me trying to swatch it. Oh yeah, it's messy. That's for sure. It feels like sand. It feels like I'm rubbing sand at the beach on my arm. I don't have a glitter primer out here, so that's as good as we're gonna get. But that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. People made it seem like they couldn't get it to work at all. Can you see the green and blue in this? This is my Huda Icy Nude. All right, y'all, we did it. That color's so pretty. We made it through. We did it. We swatched them all out. This is all my independent brands that you can get in mainstream stores or that are more accessible in the US anyways. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, going through these palettes, swatching out some of these palettes that I've never swatched out before. I had a lot of fun going through these. I'm really inspired to make some looks. I had already used all of these recently, except for this one. This is on my list of ones I need to use still. So I don't need to use them all again, but I think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna mix these two and do a look. Yeah, stay tuned. I will post any looks that I do. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, that you're finding joy where you can, and until I see you next time, everyone.